Watch how we take this plain, boring dining room wall and transform it into this bold and beautiful masterpiece. If you've been wanting to do an accent wall but not sure where to start, this one is a great beginner-friendly one because it's all just straight, simple cuts. For this project, I'm using 2-inch wide MDF boards, some paint, and the DAP Extreme Stretch Caulk to fill in all the seams. We're going to start by framing the entire wall with the 2-inch wide MDF boards. Here's a little tip if you have the builder grade baseboards like we do. You can take this little trim piece right here, and I'm going to link everything below. And we're gonna nail that up right on top of the baseboards. So it's a seamless transition from the baseboard to this trim piece. Then I can take the MDF board, lay it on top of that new piece of trim, and it fits perfectly. Once we caulk in all the seams, it will transition and look as though it's all just one piece. While I'm nailing all of the boards, I do take a magnetic stud finder to locate the studs so that I can hit those as much as possible with the nail gun. Just gives it a little extra support. And then I'm gonna frame the entire room. So I'm gonna do both sides and the top as well with a piece of the 2-inch wide MDF trim boards. Next comes the fun part. We want to figure out how far apart to lay our trim pieces on the wall so that they're even from one end to the next and in between each board. Luckily, there's a website to make that easy. You just enter the room dimensions about how far apart you want the boards and it does all the work for you. I used tape then to kind of visualize it to make sure it's what I wanted. And once we've confirmed spacing, it's time to figure out where to start. So I'm going to measure the entire height of the wall to find the center point. And then next I've got a 2-foot long level. I'm just going to center that with my center mark on the wall and then make a mark at the top and the bottom of the level. And those will be my starting points for the bottom boards and the top boards because we're going to have 2 feet of overlap in the middle. And then we just start nailing all of the boards to the wall. Every other one is going to be up at the top and every other one will be at the bottom. And then we just repeated that process until we had all of the boards nailed on from one side to the other. And I mean it when I say this is beginner-friendly DIY. My friend here has never used an air gun or done any kind of projects like this, and she was able to jump right in and help with no problems. Once all of the boards were up, we filled in all of the nail holes with wood filler, let that dry, and then lightly sanded them down. Next, we're going to open up the tube of DAP Extreme Stretch Caulk, and we don't need a big bead here, so we're just going to cut it on that first mark that they have here. And then we'll proceed to run a thin, continuous bead down each side of the boards. Filling in all of the seams here is going to make this look like one continuous piece when we're all finished. So once you run the bead of caulk down, then you're going to take your finger and smooth it all the way out. The reason I chose the DAP Extreme Stretch acrylic caulk for this project is because it stretches over 600%. Materials can expand and contract and shift over time, so this flexibility allows the caulk to stay in place and avoid any cracking. Plus, it's so easy to use, and within a couple of hours, it's completely dry so that you can paint over it. And since we needed just a thin bead on all of the seams, I was able to use 1 tube of caulk and get this entire room done. Once we have all of the seams caulked and that has dried, we're going to start painting. Of course, you can paint any color you like. We chose black for this wall. As for painting goes, we went ahead and put all of the trim boards up first and then painted the trim pieces, painted in the seams, used a roller to paint in between. We realized after the fact it probably would have been easier to paint the entire wall first, then put the trim pieces up and just paint the trim pieces. So that's definitely an option if you'd prefer to go that way. And that's it. After all of the paint has dried and cured, load everything back to the room and you can enjoy your beautiful new beginner-friendly DIY accent wall. All the materials I used for this project are below in the description. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and subscribe for more DIY Made Easy.